Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the Dell PowerEdge R750xs. In this video, we're going to specifically focus on drives, both hard drives and solid-state drives. Let's get going. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the Dell PowerEdge R750xs. Do us a favor, if you find anything that helps you in this video, click that like, smash that subscribe. All right, so here's what we're gonna do in this video. First off, we're gonna go over the different types of chassis for the R750xs, because really depending on the type of chassis you have will depend on the types of drives you can use. Then we're gonna go over the different types of interfaces, which is also dependent on the type of chassis, but very important. Then we're gonna talk about the speeds and the sizes, especially on the Mac side. Then we're going to show you how to actually install the drives, which is pretty simple because it's a hot swap drive. And then at the very end, we're going to show you two tools that we like, HD Sentinel and Dell Diagnostics. And these are great ways to test your drives and see the power on hours. Let's hop into the good stuff. All right, so let's talk about the different types of chassis. There's 5 types of chassis. The first 2 are going to be large form factor, 3.5 inch. The last 3 are going to be 2.5 inch small form factor. If you're wondering what the difference is, it's pretty simple. Large form factor is going to be your big boy. Small form factor is going to be your small boy. 2.5 inch, 3.5 inch. The chassis right here that you're looking at is a 3.5 inch. So you're going to have an 8 bay and a 12 bay, and both of them are going to be 3.5 inch SATA or SAS. Those are great and designed for storage. You can put in large hard drives, and we'll get to the sizes here shortly, for a cheap price per terabyte. Now you can go to the 2.5 inch drives, which will be an 8 bay 2.5 inch small form factor, and that's going to be tri-mode, SAS, SATA, or NVMe, which is what you really want. Or you can get a 16 bay 2.5 inch, that's going to be SAS or SATA. Or you can get a 24 bay, which will be 16 bays SAS or SATA, and 8 bays NVMe, which is really, in my opinion, the best chassis of the bunch. But those are your 5 types of chassis. All right, let's talk about compatible interfaces. So really there's 3 compatible interfaces: SATA, SAS, or NVMe. And that breaks down into 5 to 7, and we'll get into that. So from a 2.5 inch hard drive, you're going to have 3 types of solid state drives: the SAS, SATA, or NVMe, and you're going to have a SATA or SAS hard drive. So those are like 5 interfaces for 2.5 inch, and then for 3.5 inch, you're going to have SATA or SAS for hard drives. So let's talk about the speeds and the sizes for all these bad boys, okay? So for a solid state drive that is SATA, the max speed is going to be 6 gigabit per second. It's the slowest of all of the solid state drives. For SAS, it's going to be 12 gigabit per second. I mean, that's nice. For NVMe, it's PCIe 4.0, so you technically get 16 gigabit per second. And this I kind of hate sometimes because the numbers don't really add up, because technically even if you got 24 from the SAS, you're like, oh, is that faster than the NVMe? No, it's not. Lower latencies and a bunch of other stuff, but NVMe is much faster, and the numbers are a little deceptive, but even the numbers still show it faster. But down the line, as you progress to different generations, I just want to note that, because you're going to see sometimes a 24 gigabit SAS and you're going to think that it's faster. It's not. And so all that being said, the speed for a SATA hard drive, 7.2K revolutions per minute. For SAS, 7.2K, 10K, or 15K. And keep in mind, those are mechanical devices. The ball bearings will wear out. They're just spinning around and around and around and around. And so a solid state drive is going to be better reliability and better performance. And for 3.5 inch, you're going to have 7.2K revolution per minute for SATA and 7.2K, 10K, or 15K for SAS. I know Dell's spec sheet only shows 7.2K for SAS, but that's because the bigger size ones are generally speaking 7.2K. You could technically throw in a lower size one that is 10 or 15K and it'll work just fine. All right, so let's talk about sizes. So for a 2.5 inch SATA drive, SATA solid state drive, it shows 3.68 terabytes on Dell's spec sheet. For SAS and for NVMe, it shows 7.68. Well, we played around, and you can actually do 7.68 for SATA, 15.36 for SATA, for SAS and for NVMe. So it's actually double what Dell's spec sheet shows. And literally, this is why we try to do these videos, is we want to show people the real specs, right? Dell's spec sheet is older. It was the stuff their engineers tested when they made this system. And think about it, right now when we're releasing this video, it's 2 generations old, and soon when you might be watching this is 3, 4, 5 gens old, right? So Dell's spec sheet, they don't go back and update the old spec sheets. That's like, they do it when they release it, right? I mean, that makes sense. And so they don't go back 5 years later and test new things. They, I guess, rely on people like us. And so that being said, you can definitely double the size for all those solid state drives. Now, from a 3.5 inch, actually no, we forgot about the 2.5 inch. So the 2.5 inch hard drives, super weak and the last thing anyone should be using, but that's going to be 2 terabyte and 2.4 terabyte, and we tested and that's what it is, and it sucks. Those drives suck. All right, so let's talk about large form factor. So for hard drives on the SATA and SAS side, Dell's spec sheet shows 16 terabytes. We played around and we put in 20 and 22. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if someone drops a comment and says, hey, we put in 24 or 26 or even 28 or 30 in the future or whatever, right? And do us a favor, drop a comment down below if you put in a higher size drive. We want to keep this video relevant and help people know what is compatible. That's the point of our videos, right? So if you put in a larger drive than what we're talking about, I'd love to hear it. So drop a comment down below. All right, one other important note, you can put a Boss S2 card inside. With the Boss S2 card, you can drop in 2 M.2s, 2280s. It's going to be a 240 gig or a 480 gig. Not the highest sizes, but perfect for a boot drive. Now, it is limited to SATA, and that's really kind of the downside because a lot of people want NVMe for their boot drives. We have some workarounds, and if you're interested, contact sales@cloudninjas.com. All right, so next up, we're going to show you how to install the drives, which is super easy because they're hot swap, and then we're going to show you our favorite testing tools. Let's hop into it.
Hey, it's Mason with Cloud Ninjas, and today we'll be showing you guys how to install your drives into your Dell PowerEdge R750xs server. Now, as you can see, we have all these different drives that you can install, and I do want to point out that this here is a 3.5 inch drive tray with a 2.5 inch SSD using an adapter. If you have a large form factor chassis, this is a perfect solution for you. You can visit our website, and when you choose the drive that you want to purchase under tray, you can select the 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch adapter option. This is a great solution for those looking to upgrade from hard drives to solid state drives. And if you are interested in this solution, you can always visit our website or reach out to us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is go ahead and press this orange circle, and the lever for the tray will pop out, and then you can go ahead and slide that hard drive out of the bay and then set it to the side. Now we will go ahead and install this solid state drive into the drive bay. So press the orange circle that will release the lever. If the tray doesn't go in all the way, then you can press the spring here in the lever, and that will allow the tray to be fully installed into the bay. So line up the tracks in the bay to the metal leads on the side of the drive tray, and then push the drive all the way in and push the lever down. If your drive gets stuck, just make sure to press on that spring that we mentioned earlier, and it will fully slot itself into the drive bay. All right, you've done it. You've successfully installed your drives into your Dell PowerEdge R750xs server. All right, so next up, we'll go ahead and show you 2 testing tools that we really like, Dell Diagnostics and HD Sentinel. Be right back.
Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to test your hard drives and solid state drives with Dell Diagnostics and HD Sentinel. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to go ahead and get started with Dell Diagnostics. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and boot up your server. Once you boot up your server, you want to go ahead and press F10, and this will go ahead and bring us into the lifecycle controller. Once we're in lifecycle controller, we can go ahead and scroll down to where it says hardware diagnostics. And then we want to go ahead and click on run hardware diagnostics. And then you'll get this little warning right here. So it's just going to say it's going to take several minutes, so we can go ahead and accept that. And this will load us into Dell Diagnostics. So actually getting into Dell Diagnostics and actually running the test is pretty simple. So we're just going to let these tests run, and these tests can take several minutes up to several hours. So go ahead and just wait this out. If you're familiar with 12th gen and 13th gen Dell PowerEdge servers, you'll notice that this looks very, very different. In the 12th gen and 13th gen, you can actually see the different tests on the left-hand side of the screen, and you have a lot more information on the middle of the screen, and it's just a lot more simpler of a screen, but it's just going to go ahead and run through all of these tests, and at the bottom, you can pause these tests if you want, and then you can also see like what test specifically is running at that current time, an estimate of how much time is left for that test. So like I said, these tests are gonna take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. So once that final test has stopped running, it'll go ahead and stop. And then we will get a message that pops up on the screen that says success. So this means all of our tests have passed. If you had any issues, then you would get an alternative message saying like, hey, these tests failed. And at the very end here, we can actually view all of the information and all the different tests that were ran. And this screen's a little bit more similar as to something we'd see on 12th gen and 13th gen PowerEdge servers. But yeah, we can go through here, see all the test results for each individual test, which is pretty neat. The information about the system health, the configuration, and we can even go into the event log, which is pretty useful. So that is how we do Dell Diagnostics and how we can test our hard drives, but also, you know, everything else in our system. And if you really want to see if your system is healthy, then go ahead and run Dell Diagnostics. It'll give you a lot of information if all the components are working the way that they should. So now I'm going to show you how to test your hard drives with HD Sentinel. Alrighty guys, so I have HD Sentinel pulled up right now, and as you can see, we currently have 2 drives plugged in. We have this installed into a storage array where we like to plug in multiple drives at a time so we can test those drives. HD Sentinel is an awesome tool because you can see things like the power on hours, which is great, especially when you're buying used equipment. You can see how long that drive has been in use. You don't want to be using drives that have been, you know, heavily used, because then you have a higher risk of drive failure. And that's one of the reasons why HD Sentinel is such a cool tool. But as you can see, we can just go ahead and plug a drive into the array and it'll automatically populate within the software. Like I said, lots of information. It'll give you health scores of the drives. As you can see, the 2 we have up top, they have a 100% health score, while the one at the bottom has a 99%. So all pretty good. So I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, go ahead, smash the subscribe and leave a like. If you're interested in purchasing a custom built server, or you're looking to buy some drives, we do have plenty of those in stock, so you can go reach out to us at sales@cloudninjas.com, sales@cloudninjas.com. Anyways guys, thank you for stopping by.